All right, this week we're going to work on parametric constraints. And as you've seen with AutoCAD, you pretty much have to draw your object the correct size and shape as you're drawing it. Okay, that's normal for AutoCAD. If you work with Inventor, which is our 3D parametric modeling program on the mechanical side, you draw a rough sketch and then you apply dimensions and constraints, geometric constraints, to get it to be the right shape and the right size. It's a different thought process that you have to do. And so AutoCAD has the ability to do constraints. It's a little cumbersome. It's not as easy and as streamlined as it is in Inventor, but it will work. Okay, so open up just a new file and just kind of play along with me. I'm going to describe and demonstrate the geometric constraints. And so on your menu bar up here, you go to the parametric tab, and over here you've got the geometric constraints, which is what we're going to work with today. The most common ones that you're going to use are going to be horizontal and vertical constraints. And so if you hover over these and look at them, you'll see the names of them in a little description. Horizontal does just that. It constrains an object horizontally. Okay. Vertical does just that, constrains an object vertically. Okay. A coincident constraint means that it will join 2 points together. And notice the way my little cursor changes there. Okay. And so now I've put these as being horizontal and vertical, and I've done a coincident constraint on the bottom. Now they will. I could move the entire object, but I can't move that out of being vertical. Okay, so you see I can move the whole object over, and I shortened the length of that line. Okay, so that's how those things work. Now, this one is concentric, meaning it will take arcs, circles, and ellipses and apply the same center points. Okay. Some of the others here, parallel, perpendicular, tangent. So I'll just throw a couple more lines in here. What's that? Okay. So parallel. All right. So it made those parallel. If I want to go perpendicular, I can make those perpendicular, and you notice that one changed because it's parallel with this one. Tangent. Okay, so that made those tangent together. One I haven't done yet, collinear. So let me put another line over here. Here it is right here. So collinear will put two lines in the same plane together, but not connecting them. And that was probably a bad example. So let me redo that. Oh, that was what I did originally. As you can tell, the order in which you select them affects how they work. Okay. This one's moved splines. You could play with that one, but we don't deal a whole lot with splines in what we're dealing with. This one is equal, and let me come over here to this. So I've got a kind of a center line here, and I'm going to do symmetry. And so you select which one is your base first that you want to stay, and then the second object, and then the line of symmetry. Okay, and so it moved it out, so it's at the same angle and the same distance away there. If I want them to be equal, that deals with lengths. Okay, and so now they're the same length, although they're not, at the same point. Um, so that's how those things work. Now you've got one right here that's fixed. If you have drawn something and you don't want it to move, you've got it in the right place. Because a lot of these, I've drawn them, I can still move them, okay, as long as it doesn't violate their constraints. And I can, adjust the length of them. I can move them around. But if I fix something, it is just that. It is fixed and you cannot move it. You cannot, you can resize it, okay, but it is fixed in its location. Now, as you can see, you've got these little gray boxes that show all of your constraints. That's where this set of menus right here come in. So I could hide all of those, or I could show all of those. Or I could do for specific objects if I so wanted to. Okay, so that little short video is all about using geometric constraints. I didn't talk about auto constrain. You can use it. It may give you some weird results, but this would be what if like our normal AutoCAD drawings where you draw it exactly the right size to start with. You could use auto constrain to lock everything down as far as location goes and geometry. You can play with it. It may give you some really strange results sometimes, just like the auto dimension command will give you some really strange dimensions. So your exercises that you've got, I'm giving you two objects, and the sizes are pretty much given in there. I want you to use geometric constraints to finalize the shape of the objects, and then lock everything down so that none of those things can be moved. Okay. All right. So that's geometric constraints. If you got a question, send me an email or come by and see us in the lab.